Hey everyone, in this video we'll go over some basics of using tmux. As many of you know, tmux is a terminal multiplexer, which is an app that runs inside of your existing terminal and lets you work with additional pseudo-terminals. It's pretty useful stuff. What I'll want to cover here specifically is attaching and detaching sessions, using panes and screens, copy and paste, enabling the mouse, and writing a basic tmux.conf file. This should get you all set up to be productive with this tool with the out-of-the-box configuration. So without further delay, let's start. Now installing tmux is pretty simple. If you use a RHEL or Fedora-based system, you can just run sudo yum install tmux. And I guess you could also use dnf as well. And just by doing that, we'll have it installed. The package name is likely to be the same on whatever distribution you happen to be using, by the way. Alright, so now with it installed, let's talk about attaching and detaching sessions first. To start a new tmux session, just type tmux into your terminal, and there you go. To detach from the current session, we're going to invoke the tmux command mode with Control B, and then hit the letter D for detach, and this will get us out of there. So in case that wasn't clear, tmux has reserved the Control B key combination, and that's the main way we interface with tmux. So keep that in mind because we'll be using it a lot. Okay, to view the existing tmux sessions, you can just run tmux ls for list sessions, and this will show us that we have one session open. And to reattach to a detached session, you can use the command tmux attach, or just tmux a for short, and this will reattach you to your most recent session. However, if you've opened multiple sessions and you want to get to a specific one, you'll need to provide the ID for the session that you want. So I'll just set up an example scenario here. I'll detach out of this one, start a new session, and then I'll detach out of there as well. And now if I run tmux ls, you'll see here that I have two sessions. And now let's be specific this time and say tmux attach -t, and then give the ID of one of our sessions. So I'll give the ID 0, and this will get me into session 0. Okay, so before we dive into some specifics, let me show you how to check the help menu for tmux. Just simply go into command mode again with Control B, and then hit the question mark. And then you can marvel at this built-in cheat sheet. It's pretty cool. You can view all of the little short keys right from here. You can press Q to quit out of the cheat sheet, by the way. Alright, so next we'll be working with panes and screens. Panes are vertical or horizontal sections within the window, so you can see multiple terminals at once. You can create a new pane with the Control B key again, and then give a %sign. And this will create a vertical pane. Alternatively, you can use Control B and the double quotes key for horizontal panes like this. To switch between the panes, you can use Control B and then press one of the arrow keys in the direction of the pane that you want to use. And you can tell that it worked because the highlighting changes slightly when you do that. One last thing with panes that I think is pretty neat is that you can resize them. Just hold down the Control B key and then use the arrow keys. So as you can see, that's working perfectly fine. Alright, now let's talk about screens. Screens are similar to panes, except that you can only see one of them at a time. To create a new screen, just use Control B and the letter C. And there we go. And you can tell that the status bar at the bottom has changed because we have a new screen now. To switch between screens, you can use the shortcut Control B and the letter N to move to the next screen. It wraps around, by the way. And you can also use Control B and the letter P to go to the previous screen. Since we only have two, it's not super clear, so let me make another screen and show you that again. Control B and P, and I'm moving previously. Control B and N, and I'm moving forward. So yeah, you have two options that you can use for this. You don't have to just use the letters P and N. You can also use numbers. So if I do Control B and the number 1, I can move to screen 1. Similarly, I can do Control B and the number 0 and move to screen 0. So just go with whatever your heart desires, whether you like P and N or the numbers, it's all good. Now let's get into copying and pasting text. So this is a really important feature, especially when you don't have a mouse. So let me populate the screen with some stuff to copy real quick. There we go. And to start copying text, you can go into cursor mode with Control B and the open square bracket. And you can tell that it's working because there's an orange indicator in the corner. So going into this mode is also handy if you need to scroll upwards, because you can move the cursor around upwards. Then you can just navigate through the text using the arrow keys, and when you're at the start of the spot that you want to start copying, you can press Control and the space key to start a selection. And once you've selected the text that you want, like this, you can use Control W to save it to the tmux clipboard. This will also get you out of cursor mode. And so now I can paste my selection like this. Just press Control B and the closed square bracket. And there we go, it's pasted. So now I have a file with my paste in it, just like that. Pretty cool. Moving on, enabling the mouse in tmux is also pretty easy. You can enable the mouse during runtime by invoking the Control B key again, and then typing a command with the colon key. You can see that the status bar is changed to orange. And then just like you would in Vim, you can type in a command like set-g mouse on. And this will enable the mouse features in tmux. So now you can scroll with the scroll wheel. As you can see, that's working. And another thing that's pretty cool is that you can select raw text by holding down the Shift key, and this will select text in your terminal's default text selection mode. However, if you don't hold down Shift, you'll get an orange selector, and this is for tmux, actually. So that's all pretty cool, but this won't persist, so let's fix that as well. We can detach from our session with Control B and D, and we can actually kill our sessions with tmux kill -session -t, and then I'll just kill 0 and 1. Now if I check again, there are no sessions running. So yeah, let's talk about writing a basic tmux configuration file. This file would be located in your home directory and named .tmux.conf. So I'll just quickly touch that. There we go. And then I'll open it up in Vim. So yeah, you can add in any configuration options that you want. I could put the mouse option in here, for example, like set-g mouse on. And you can also put some fun stuff in here as well. Like I could customize the status bar with set-g status right. And then I can just put in a string here like beanology. There's some promotion for you. And we can also change the status color with set-g status-style. And then we can set a foreground color like white, and then comma a background color like blue, for example. And so I'll just save this file. And now if I open tmux back up again, we'll see that our changes have indeed taken effect. So that's pretty nice. So to close out the video, I hope this guide really helped you get more acquainted with tmux. It's really useful if you work with a lot of headless machines over SSH, which is actually what most people use it for. And that's all I have to say, so thanks for watching.